welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, Animals and Pets with Partha. Today I am going to talk to you about a bit of history of our kennel club. I have in my previous episodes also have mentioned to you that our dog game is hundreds of years old, and we have a rich legacy. Our dog game that I inherited, is from the people who actually inherited it from the Britishers. When the British left India, they left behind a very vibrant kennel club. It was run then by Major Goldsmith. And after independence and after the passing away of Major Goldsmith, Mrs. Goldsmith took over the reins of the kennel club, and she ran it till her death. The Kennel Club of India was running in all its glory from the hills of Kannur. Of course, in the meantime, there were phases when we really we went through certain problems, but finally Mrs. Goldsmith took the reins in her hand, and she ran it wonderfully from the hills of Kannur. She was ably assisted by Baba Matthews, Mr. Thomas Matthews, late Mr. Thomas Matthews. He was a wonderful gentleman and a great dog judge and a very devoted soul in the world of dogs. Well, I was sort of inspired to become a member by Thomas Matthews, and when he had come to Calcutta to judge in one of his in the late 70s, he had asked me to come to Kannur. And when I went to Kannur, he handed me over the kennel membership to the Kennel Club of India, which was in 1981, I think, that I became a member to the Kennel Club of India. Well, then, after that, of course, I've had a wonderful, wonderful time in this beautiful sport of ours. I have seen the good days, and then I've seen the bad days. I have a lot of history to share with you. Today, I'm going to talk to you a bit of history. Well, I became a judge in 1995, so that will tell you that I have been a judge, an all-breed judge, from my very, very young age in this fancy of dogs. And it was only possible because there were a lot of senior people who were judges in the British era, who encouraged me to become a judge. And one of them was, of course, Maharaja Jaideep Singh of Baria, and who chaired the meeting where I was approved as a judge in Delhi at the Taj Palace Hotels. So that was in 1985. And till 1995, the dog game grew in with leaps and bounds. Then in 1996, of course, by then there was a change of guard in the dog world. Somehow by misleading the people of the dog game at that time, which was very small, very few, some people connived and brought the dog, snatched away the reins of the dog world from the hands of Baba Matthews, and it came to Chennai. And after that, after a couple of years, slowly but certainly, the dog game went into very corrupt hands. And in 1996, I think, there was a big show. Well, it was possibly a national show or something. And I remember the dog food companies had come in. And that show was one of the biggest, and the biggest sponsorship was coming from a dog food company. On the showgrounds itself, news came that the sponsors have backed out, and there would be a huge deficit in the sort of finances for the show. Then suddenly news came in, and my friend late Vijay Singh from Punjab, he actually told me, we've got a sponsor. And that sponsor, of course, he mentioned, which disturbed me, and that he has conditions that have to be fulfilled. He will replenish the entire sponsorship money, but on conditions. And the conditions we have to live with for the last 2 decades or so. We have realized from show after show and show after show everything was fixed and everything was designed so that person and his dogs and his array of dogs had to be placed in the order that he designed. And the judges were given invitations, clubs were sponsored, were bought off, new shows were created, and if so many things happened just so that that one person and his dogs could win. And it was extremely bad times, an extreme bad times for the dog world of India. The entire world talked about it. Whenever we went judging to other countries, people mentioned that what is happening to your dog world. And then we don't want to go and judge in your country because we'll be given a list and we have to comply to that list. So unfortunate. It was so embarrassing for us for over these years. But now, with the, things doesn't remain the same always. Good times and bad times, and all corrupt things must end sometime. So the persons, the syndicate and his sycophants who've been looting this dog game over these years, now it's time for them to be thrown out of the game. Because now many people, hundreds of people have become empowered. Everybody wants to buy dog shows. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to pay the clubs, pay the judges. Now what are you going to do? So that's now the syndicate who was actually eating out of the hands of this one person who was winning. Now he says, I have so many hands to feed me. I have so much of money to take. I have hundreds of sponsors. Even in private functions, like in 2019 in August, people were called and invited to a private function, a family function. I will not go into depth. People were called to, because there was auction going to happen for the 2020 dog shows and 2000 and the following. So that in that auction, people had to go and spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees. But then the pandemic robbed it all. So all the people who actually sponsored the money, you can see in the internet, there will be pictures of these people standing with the syndicate, just to show the dog world that these are the people who have sponsored 2021 dog shows. But unfortunately, the pandemic stopped all dog shows in 2020. And then all these people who paid did not get their money's worth. They've already paid for a year's winnings. That was organized by the syndicate. This cannot go on. We have to stop this. We have to think ahead. It is time. People have spent their personal money to go to court while the syndicate was spending public money. Indian dog games money has been wasted by fighting court cases. Lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of rupees have been just burnt paying lawyers so that they can remain in power. Corruption at every stage, making judges also a corruption. We have had a very bad time. But then the time has come where there are so many people who are empowered, who are passionately wanting to involve them. I think I've spoken enough today. I will speak again in my coming episode, and I will be talking about other subjects of the dog world. Till then, please keep subscribing to my channel and press the bell button, and also like and share among dog lovers. Thank you for your time and your patience listening to me and being with me in my long journey over the last 1 year, where I have been putting up nearly 100 episodes on this world of animals and pets. Thank you and bye-bye. See you soon in my next coming episode.